Hello, my amazing students. We are going to work on 6.1 and 6.2, and this is a video that will help you do the video worksheet, and then you will do 10 more problems that are your homework. That should be very much like this video. So altogether, in 6.1 and 6.2, you're going to have 20 problems. 10 of those I will do with you now, and then 10 of those you will do on your own. Then we will begin working on 6.3 and 6.4, and finally 6.5 in the same manner. Okay, so for Friday, what is due is this video with the worksheet that you will be able to get online at Teams, and then also the sheet that I gave you in class is due. That's the one that you're going to do on your own from this material. Okay, so question 1 of 10. Find the y-intercept and the x-intercept of the line below. So you can see this line right here, and you can see it never crosses the x-axis. So we would say no. Let me get a pen here. We would say no x-intercept at all. There is no x-intercept. It does not cross the x-axis. Okay, now the y-intercept is right here at -4. So we'd say y-intercept -4. And that is all we had to do for number 1. Number 2, write an equation in slope-intercept form for the line with a y-intercept of 5 and the slope of 2/5. Now remember, our slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, okay, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So now we do a substitution here. The y-intercept is 5, so we're going to make the b a 5. The slope is 2/5, so we're going to make the m a 2/5. It is the coefficient of the x, and then we just copy down the y equals, and that is the answer for number 2. Number 3, Mary works at a water park. She notices that the daily high temperature affects the daily number of tickets sold at the park as in the table below. So you can see here, daily high temperature, 30, 33, 36, 39, daily number of tickets sold. Okay, so identify the independent and dependent variable. Okay, now the dependent variable and the independent variable. Now the independent variable is your input, and we will usually name our input x. Our dependent variable is the output, and we will usually name our output y. Okay, so in this particular situation, the input is the x, so we're going to put I for input. We're going to put O for output. The output, which is the number of tickets sold, changes depending on the input. Okay, so here it says identify the independent variables. Independent variables, choose one. Okay, so independent, notice, is the input or the x. It is the daily high. You see that says an x there. You may not be able to see it very well. Daily high temperatures in Celsius. Okay, so daily number of tickets, that's an output. Age of park visitor is nowhere on the chart. Height of park visitor is nowhere on the chart. Daily high temperature is the is the input, therefore it is the independent variable. Dependent variable is the output. It's the daily number of tickets sold. So let's just go ahead and mark that one. And let's look at all the others that they have for you. Age of park visitor. Nowhere in here does it even mention the age of park visitor. Height of park visitor is not even mentioned. Daily high temperature is not the output, is the input. So dependent means it's the output. It is dependent on the input. And B, the graph below shows how the monthly payment for a life insurance policy depends on the age of the person insured. Okay, so here down at the bottom is the age of the person insured, and then the monthly payment depends upon this. So we would say this is our input, okay, and our input is our independent. Notice how input and independent start with the same little prefix there, in. Okay, and then the output here is the dependent variable. Dependent because it depends on what happens with the input. So this is the dependent. Okay, so it says the independent variable is this one down here, the input, age of the person insured. Yep, that's what the input is. Okay, the monthly payment is the output. The number of family members is not mentioned. The monthly income is not mentioned. Dependent variable is the output, or the Y. Okay, so this is the Y, the output, the dependent variable. The independent is the input, and we usually denote it with the X. Okay, dependent is the Y. Age of the person insured, nope, that's the input. Monthly payment, yes. Okay, and then number of family members, not mentioned. Monthly income, not mentioned. Question 4. Find the slope of the line graph below. Okay, now remember, slope is y2 minus y1. We're going to do this two ways. Over x2 minus x1. Slope is also the rise. Oops, that did not work well. Rise over the run. Okay, so let's label these points. This point is... Okay, so my video stopped and I went ahead and worked the rest of it, but we just said rise over run. So here we have our 2 points written down that they gave us, and we labeled those points -4, -2, -4, -2, and -1 up 3. So there's the point there that they gave us, and there's a point right here that they gave us. So we label the points. Since we're calling this point 1, then we're going to say this one is x1 and this one is y1, and then we're going to replace the x1 and the y1 with the -4 for the x1 and the -2 for the y1. So I'm going to write that again, even though I already have it on the slide, just because my work is above my video chat here. So I'm going to do that again for you. This is the second point, so this is x sub 2, and this is y sub 2. So I'm going to put this down again. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so when we're sliding these in, the x1 is -1. So we're going to take the x1 out, we'll get our little eraser and take the x1 out, and we'll get a little parenthesis, and we'll put the x1 back in. The x1 is -4. And then we'll take the x2 out. The x2 is a -1. So we'll take the x2 out, and we will put in its slot a -1. Okay, and then we're going to take out the y1 and the y2. So that's y2, take away y1. Okay, and y2 is 3. And we'll just put it in parentheses to be consistent. We don't need to, but. So y2 minus y1, and y1 is a -2. All right, so 3 take away a -2 is 3 addition of the opposite. And 3 plus 2 is what you see right here from the earlier work. And -1 minus a -4, addition of the opposite, turns into -1 plus 4, which is right here. Right here. And now we have 3 plus 2 is 5, and -1 plus 4 is 3. So our slope is 5/3. And 5/3 is the same as our rise over our run. So let's just go with a nice highlighter here. Our rise, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And our run is 1, 2, 3. To get from one point on the line to another point, we rise 5, run 3. Okay, so that is our slope. And we can come up with the slope from just looking at rise over run, or using our formula, slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. They both work. Okay, question number 5. A construction crew is lengthening a road that originally measured 52 miles. The crew is adding 1 mile to the road each day. The length L in miles after D days of construction is given by the following. So they tell us that D is the number of days. So now what is the length of the road after 27 days? We're going to put 27 where the D is in the little equation. So we're going to end up with L equals 52 plus D, which is 27. And when we add those together, we get 79. So the road is now going to be 79 miles long because they're doing a mile a day of construction. Question 6, find the slope of the line passing through the points. So now they give us 2 points, -5, -3, and 3, -9. So we're going to call this point 1, and we'll call this one point 2. We're going to go use our formula for slope, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if this first one we're going to call point 1, this is the x value, this is the y value, so we're going to say x1, y1, and x2, y2 is 3 and -9. And now we're just going to go substitute those in. y2 is -9. So right here where the y2 was, we're going to put -9. And then a minus. Now notice I've already changed this. We'll change it back again so you can see the work. Okay, so basically my video failed while I did all of this for you, so I'm having to do it again. -9 is y2 minus y1 is -2. So we have -9 addition of the opposite. -9 plus 2 is -7. And then on the bottom, we have x2 minus x1. x2 is 3. So I'm not really sure why I keep on losing parts of the video, but hopefully I will piece them all together. I'm going back to question 7, which I've already done several times, but hopefully this will help you. On question 6, which is where the last video cut out, we were explaining the bottom one down here. The x2 minus the x1 was 3 minus a negative 5, which turned out to be plus a positive 5 right here, which turned out to be 8. So now we're on number 7. A plant is already 51 centimeters tall, and it will grow 1 centimeter every month. Let H be the plant's height in centimeters after M months. Write an equation relating H to M. So then use this equation to find the plant's height. Okay, I am not sure why this is not working, but H equals 51 plus M is your equation on number 7. And when you plug 16 in for M, you get 67 centimeters. So I've done that several times, but for some reason the video is not working. Find an ordered pair on number 8 that is a solution to the equation. Now this is a line. 2x minus y equals 9 is a line because it can be put in this format. This is your slope-intercept form of the line, y equals mx plus b. And to get this equation into this form, all we have to do is get rid of the 2x on both sides so that we get y by itself. And when we subtract 2x on both sides, we get y equals negative 2x plus 9, which does look like this form, doesn't it? So the slope is a negative 2, and the y-intercept, which we denote with b, is a 9. And so we could graph that by putting a point at 0, 9. So this says find an ordered pair. 0, 9 would be the easiest point to find because 9 is the y-intercept. But then we could also plug in a 1 here. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2 plus 9 is 7. So 1, 7 is a point. And we could plug in a 2 here. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4 plus 9 is 5. So there's another point. 2, 5 is another point. So I found 3 points that you could have used that would have been ordered pairs that are solutions to this equation. In this form, it's easier to see. So we're going to try and see if we can finish this up. Question 9. Gina makes $9 for each hour of work. Write an equation to represent her total pay, P, after working H hours. Okay, so she makes $9 per hour. $9 per hour. Okay, and write an equation to represent her total P, pay, is $9 times the number of hours that she's going to work. Okay, so now let's look at this. If she works 1 hour, 1 times 9 is going to be $9 of pay. That makes sense, doesn't it? These are points that would be on the line. If she works 2 hours, then 2 times 9 or $18 would be her pay. So this is looking like this is the correct equation, and it is. We would normally not write 9 times H. We would just write P equals 9H, and that would be her pay equation. Last problem. Graph the line with a y-intercept of negative 5. Now, y-intercept means that it's going to cross here. So negative 5 is the y-intercept. And the slope is negative 2. So we're going to go down to right 1. and put a point. Down 2, write 1. Remember, the slope is -2, and we could write -2 over 1. So we start at the y-intercept when we're graphing, so -5, and we're going to go down 2, write 1, down 2, write 1, down 2, write 1, down 2, write 1. Oops, we're out of room. So anytime we need to, we can switch both signs. And now we're going to go up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1. We still started here at the y-intercept. Up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1. And now we have a series of points that make the line. Okay, so on another one, you were supposed to tell what the y-intercept and the x-intercept were. So let's say, if we were going to say that, what is the point that is the y-intercept? The point that is the y-intercept is 0, -5. Okay, so if you were asked for points, you would say 0, -5. And then we can see that it crosses somewhere in between there. Okay, so it actually is crossing at the halfway mark. So on this one, the x-intercept would be -2.5. Okay, so x-intercept, you see they said slope, not x-intercept. X-intercept is -2.5. Or the point -2.5, comma 0. That would be the point that goes with that x-intercept, and this would be the point that would go with the y-intercept. But on this one, all they asked us to do was graph the line. So that's what we were supposed to do there. And that gets you through your 10 problems for your video. Now you should do hopefully you've been doing it the entire time you've been watching the video. This little practice set should be turned in, and also the 10 problems that you find on your homework on your team. So you have 2 exercises, the video homework, which I just did with you and for you. And all you need to do is copy down everything and turn it in. And the homework that you're going to do by yourself. So that's 10 and 10, 20 problems due for Friday. And this is Mrs. A, and may God bless your day.